first of it. So, okay, we're recording. Hi. Hey, everybody. I am so excited. I just need to make sure that we are actually live on Facebook. I think that we are. Oh, we are. Good. Hi, y'all. It's Nicole Anderson Land, and this is Stay Wild Child, and I'm so excited that you guys decided to join today because we have a beautiful Kristine Freelund with us today. Thank you for joining us, Kristine. Absolutely. So this is episode 13 of Stay Wild Child. And I had this little epiphany the other day. I was talking to another friend, actually a friend that's going to be on next week. And I said, she said, I love what you're doing. I love that you are, interviewing these powerful women. And I said, you know what? You know why I started it? Honestly, because it's kind of like, it's like I'm getting an education, on so many different topics, so many different realms. And I'm able to then share that with my community. And like I had this like epiphany. Honestly, when I started it, I just kind of started it and I didn't know the reason why behind it. And now I've got my why and I'm like, okay, this is magical. It's good stuff, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay. So this is Kristine Freelund. We met through the Quantum Revolution Tour. And you went to the one in Miami, right?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to meet through the Quantum Revolution Tour. And it has been, I know, super empowering for both of us. And I think that maybe some of this technology that you're going to talk about and other things that you're going to talk about probably opened your eyes while we were at that QRT tour. But I always love to begin our conversations with where you were before. And the reason I like to start them that way is because sometimes, I'm hosting this Stay Wild Child broadcast that I host, and people can, kind of look at that like, oh, well, of course you do that, like, she's got the Midas touch or whatever, you can come up with ideas in your mind about a person when you just see them in a social media format, right? Oh, well, she's probably always done it that way, right? Like she's always had her shit together. That's what happens. People just think like we always have our shit together, and it is so far from the truth, right? We've just understood, we decided to dive in. We decided we enjoyed the growth. We decided we wanted to heal. And then we took action on it. And so that's why I like to start from before, because it honestly gives people a chance to like relate with that story. They can say, oh my gosh, like I went through that, or my family member went through that, or my best friend. And it just, I just think that it really like connects us, right? When we know that story. So do you mind introducing yourself and then kind of going back to how you began on this quantum healing journey that you're on?
Sure.
I know, is that a big question?
I know, I'm going to remember.
Right. And I'll remind you if you don't. Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, I'm Kristine Freelund, owner of Earth's Kiss Alchemy, and I'm a quantum voice coach. But before I met Nicole, which would have been October 2018, I was a traumatic brain injury survivor. I believe I was diagnosed not just with the traumatic brain injury, but also with PTSD and generalized anxiety, if I remember correctly. But who I was before was working for a scrappy startup, loving my work, but hating my life at the same time. And I was driving home one day and there was a distracted driver and she spun out and me and my car stopped her. So I went from all of this work to, I couldn't even tell you. It was the weirdest thing. You watch all these Hollywood movies, right? And the cars roll. My car didn't roll, just to be clear. But they get out and they walk away. So I left, called my work, was like, hey, I've been in a car accident. I'll see you tomorrow. Right. And yeah, adrenaline is insane, man. It kicked in. And it was actually a few days before I realized I couldn't lift my head. I'd lost my sense of taste, sense of smell. There would be times people would be talking and it sounded like Charlie Brown's teacher. Everything was
Yes.
wah, wah, and I would just burst into tears because I didn't understand what was going on. I wasn't able to read. The words were floating off the page. And it took a while for it to actually be diagnosed as a traumatic brain injury because it doesn't show up on an MRI. Yeah, there's a lot of technology out there. It's just not sensitive enough. But the brain is bouncing around with any impact. So I got to learn a lot about post-concussion and all that stuff. Now I feel like I'm not really answering your question.
No, you totally are. No, you're totally answering my question. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly it.
I actually had to be like knocked out of my head to like move into my heart, which is so cheesy, but it's so true because I was always rewarded for being logical. At work, I had been given a team. I was a horrible boss, horrible, because I would work hard and I had no problem staying 12 hours. I was going to hit my sales goal. I was going to do everything possible, but it was also fairly easy for me, because I guess I didn't understand at that time that I was a quote unquote manifesting generator. So when my employees, my team weren't hitting their goals, I was an asshole. I was not a good boss at all because I had to step back and go, okay, what is it that I'm doing? And then break it down and try and teach it. And if they weren't willing to stay late, I questioned their dedication. So I was like hardcore third dimension. Yeah, everything was money. Everything was money, job title. Yeah, looking back, it's really weird because that's not who I am anymore.
Isn't that wild, girl? We were very similar, very similar paths because I was exactly in that same greedy world. It's interesting. Yeah, you got knocked on your head to get into your heart. I mean, what an epiphany that you were able to see that and not allow, well, so I'm assuming you've learned some things on the journey. However, to be able to see that, and I'm assuming it was probably super negative at first when you found out what happened, but now, right, to be able to look back on it and say, I mean, it was a gift, right? And you weren't hearing it before. And so how are we going to get her to listen? Oh, here's how we're going to get her to listen. And, you know, of course, nobody really wants to go through that. How long before you started diving into healing yourself? Okay, so I'm assuming you went to a team of doctors, and what time frame are we talking here?
That's a really good question. Luckily, I kind of dipped my toe in to quantum healing through a series of migraines that I'd been experiencing. Already Spirit was kind of tapping me on the shoulder. And Western medicine wasn't touching it. I had gone through so many different options, kind of dietary stuff, that it just wasn't working. So I'd already kind of been introduced. So I probably, again, only dipped my toe in quickly, but was also seeing a neurologist, was seeing a speech therapist, was seeing physical therapist, very much in Western. And I needed that desperation, that nothing's moving, and having actual doctors, amazing, brilliant, intelligent people. I don't want to take anything away from them, but tell me, you might get better, you might not, and all we have to do is wait. And to hear that was terrifying. But yeah, I probably started seeing a quantum healer, and then my sister-in-law is a body talk specialist. She's amazing. So I got to kind of, get into that modality and a few others. But it probably took, honestly, I went through a deep depression. It was probably 2 years or so before I actually embraced and was ready to actually hear that I was the only one that was going to heal myself. Obviously with a lot of help and a lot of guidance, but that it was up to me to make that, I guess, mindset.
So you made the decision.
Yeah. With a ton of support.
Right. How much resistance was there around that decision?
So much. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's terrifying. I mean, you go through your whole life thinking, everything's planned. And again, you're going to heal. It's a broken leg. They're like, oh, it's X amount of months and it's better. So I would be told, okay, in 6 months, you're going to be better. Okay, in another 6 months, you're going to be better. And I would literally be like writing down that date and expecting to wake up and have my entire old life back. So there was a ton of resistance. It wasn't until a psychic told me, she saw me walking around after an explosion, picking up the pieces and trying to fit everything back together. And she's like, it's not what you're meant to do. You have to leave it and build again, build from fresh, new start. And for whatever reason, that's when it connected. And I was like, oh crap. My sister-in-law had been telling me this for, years and years, but yeah, sometimes you have to hear it from a stranger. It can't be anyone. You do.
I'm just laughing because it's so true. It's like, I got a little teary-eyed. We try to tell these people we love these messages and it sounds like Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah.
Exactly.
There has to be somebody random.
Always.
Yes. Oh, I love it. That's good. Well, I'm so glad that you were open to exploring, because I'm sure you got, we use the phrase in my direct sales business, sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so, right. So you hit kind of rock bottom, basically. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times I know when they use, in this world of like law of attraction and like manifestation and all that, they're like, you're at rock bottom. Congratulations. I mean, right? There's nowhere else to go but up from here. And
right?
So, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that that you did, right, to take control of your life and ownership and how they've impacted you. So I see your miracle working behind you. Do you want to start there?
Sure.
Okay, all right. So did you find out about this technology before the QRT tour or at the QRT tour?
At QRT. I came in a day early, ended up luckily being at dinner with everyone and sat next to Helena, and we just started talking.
Hello, divine timing.
Right?
Yeah. Wow, you're ready to receive. And so, dude, that's cool. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's good. That's exactly how I felt. She started talking, and I swear to you, I had this vision in my head of this before seeing it. It's not like they had it at dinner. I was all in at that. I mean, that's all it took, was like pretty much sitting next to Helena and having her say 2 sentences. And I was like, because music and sound were so important in my healing. So now I'm actually going to go backwards. Spring Forest Qigong was very instrumental in showing me that I had the power to get better. And it starts out with kind of using Om and Mua, Om backwards. And there's all these different sounds that go with the different organs of the body. So I'd already kind of been introduced to that, and then went through kind of an emotional healing process of using different kinds of music to release anger and to release sadness. So then to come across this, where it was taking that sound, which is off, and then adding in these quantum fields, this scalar technology, was mind-blowing. I mean, absolutely, like nothing I could have thought of on my own. So yeah, I don't know if I said enough on that, but this is the Miracle IQ. So it's something that I use now with clients, and I actually use it daily. And it comes with all of these different tracks programmed on it, which uses binaural beats. So you're actually hearing different tones in each ear when you're listening with headphones. And what it's doing is bringing this coherence into the brain, creating kind of these new neural pathways. And this one is patented with, I think it's called the Golden 6 technology. So rather than 1 tone and 1 tone, we're going 3 and 3. So you can only imagine the combinations that's happening in the mind, in the body, in the chakra system, and the alignment that comes with it. It's incredible.
So I know we used that device while we were at the QRT tour, and I questioned, because I don't have one of the devices, and so I questioned, Was it the energy from everyone in the room, or was it the device that was changing the energy in the room, or was I making shit up in my head? Right? Because, we're in that, it's like,
Totally.
it was so new to me. All of it was new. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like, wow, a little overwhelming. But that device, especially, I could feel when they changed the energy in the room, they pulled you up and then they brought you down. And I was just blown away by the feeling of that. So I'm assuming you were noticing all that as well.
Oh yeah. So when we were in the ballroom and they first introduced us to the tech and took our voice sample.
I missed that part. We had a delayed flight. And so we got stuck in wherever for a little while. And so we didn't get in time. So I missed that part. So fill us in, tell us all they did.
Absolutely. So we're all in this gorgeous rose quartz, I think it was, ballroom. It's just stunning. We're all sitting around. So Helena comes up, introduces the tech, talks about the voice program. So the voice is as unique, more unique than a fingerprint. If you believe in past lives, it's holding all of our past lives. It's holding our karmic, everything, ancestral trauma, you name it. It's all in the voice. So your octaves that you're hitting, the notes that you're naturally hitting, they actually carry this whole story with it. So they take the microphone around and they just have us all say a word, and then they're going to play it back. And it does like a 21 to 24 minute track playback. And it's not a pretty sound. I'm going to be completely honest. It's because what it's doing is kind of shaking up these parts of you that aren't serving your highest good anymore, and it's going to release them. So it can be uncomfortable. And after that, we sat through it, and I wasn't feeling too good with a few of the tones. And I almost doubled over at one point. And that's when I think it was Julie grabbed me and took me over to Ian, and who was with the quantum sound therapy.
Right.
And he handed me this to hold on to for a while, which is their tiny handheld version.
It's the pocket ohm, right?
Yeah, the ohm pocket.
Ohm pocket. Okay, yeah.
And I mean, you talk about incredible. It kind of grounded me almost immediately. And yeah, I forgot what I was saying because now I'm just like in that moment, remembering, just feeling that control, everything kind of coming in and centering, and it was incredible.
I want one of those own pockets.
No one. Oh my gosh. And yeah, if anyone is interested, there's actually a special going on right now. But
Oh, nice. Is it a Valentine's Day special?
Valentine's Day special. There's no better love than self-love, right? Like,
I'm telling you, right? Has that self-love just like transformed your life?
So much. I'm still a student of it. I got to be honest.
A girl.
Right? I know. It never ends. But such a difference. Yeah.
It's a huge impact in your interactions with others and the way that you talk to yourself. It's so powerful. And I think, as a society, we were taught for so long, that was selfish. And thank goodness there are so many aware and awakened women out there who are like charging the forefront saying, girl, you got to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else. So it's very powerful.
Absolutely. I want to change like the whole dynamic around the word selfish. I want a t-shirt that says selfish, because I think it is a beautiful word, and it's something that if we can actually embrace it and go, yes, of course I put myself first. How else am I going to help you? I think it would just, change so many people's mind. Because quantum, right? We have everything, nothing is positive or negative until we label it so in our mind.
Totally. Yes. Look at you, little Kristine. You got a little aha moment there for everybody. I love it. It is. We put so much, value in those words. And, even like with J-Lo and Shakira, catching so much shit, and the pole dancing, like, come on. I mean, people were just using that as such a negative, and I'm in a studio where I see it. I watch women, amazing, strong women, and I'm like, how the hell are you doing that? You go on. I just find it so empowering. And so it's the way that you put the emphasis on the word, right? And so, yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that's actually a really beautiful example too, because we'll sit there and watch football and, you know, we'll berate the person. Oh, you missed that catch. Like, do you want to go on the field and try it? Because I guarantee no one, like, how many of us can make it in the NFL? And it's the same thing. Like, yeah, you want to try and lift your body weight on a pole, let alone like hold any of the poses and climb up to the top and put your arms out. Like, hello. Right. It was stunning. And to see her do that, oh my gosh, I just thought it was beautiful. I grew up in dance, tap, ballet, jazz, you name it. And so to watch a fly girl
yeah, exactly,
getting it done was like, oh my, it was stunning. And I didn't actually watch the football game. I heard all the
I didn't either.
Totally watched on YouTube. And now my first pole dancing lesson is next Tuesday, I think. So.
Oh, I'm so excited for you. That's amazing. Good for you. Good for you. All right, so let's go back to, so I'm assuming you took the Miracle home, or you took the own pocket home, or how did that end up happening?
Still in a little bit of a manifesting funds lack.
Right.
Right then and there. So I had to go home and really think about it and think about how I was going to do it. And I think I actually ended up cashing in like a 401k or something to make it happen. And, you know, there's payment programs available as well, but I was that much like wanting it that I was willing, to go that route. But so this guy came first, and then I think a few months later, I invested in the Own Pocket. But for anyone else, the Own Pocket is so affordable, and it's just a great way
to begin.
Yeah.
Right. To begin. Yeah. So when did you start noticing changes in the way that you were feeling?
Almost immediately, if I'm honest.
Oh my gosh.
Because like you said, if for anyone that's been in the field, you feel like it's that feeling of when you're next to, I can only imagine, I've never been next to the Dalai Lama, but when you're next to that spiritual guru and you can just feel their energy field go out, right? Because our heart field goes out, I forget how far, 20 feet or something. The more we work on ourselves, the more we're actually like affecting everyone around us. We're the more powerful one. We're influencing everyone in the room. However, when we're in fear and those low vibrations, that's when others can start to affect us and absorb. But this is like sitting next to an ascended master, for lack of a better comparison. So even plugging it in almost immediately, if you can relax the body, there is an immediate feeling. So I'll carry the Own Pocket around, and if I get into a conversation with someone and know this is someone I should be talking to, I'll pop it out and I'll put it in their hands. And most people are like, ooh, what is this? I feel it. I feel my shoulders tingling and I feel my brain relaxing. Yeah.
Gosh, that is incredible. So what else? So did you start feeling better, and did you start adding more pieces in because you were feeling better? What happened?
Now I'm trying to remember back. What it did, actually. I'm trying to word this. So it sounds crazy, but Miami was the first time, I believe, I'm like 99% sure, I had traveled alone since my car accident, which was 2015. So being in that field allowed me to do a lot more than I could have done without it. Like, I have earplugs that I carried with me everywhere. I have special shades because I can see the fluorescent lights vibrate and stuff from the brain injury. I don't remember the question, but
So did you start adding in additional healing modalities once?
Oh, okay. Thank you. I started with Spring Forest Qigong. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what got me on the plane to even get there. And then to like come into this field that was the life-changing moment that it was like, boom. And then I really didn't need much beyond it. Obviously, I'm a student of Jessica Ahlstrom and the Jessica Ahlstrom method. So the quantum modalities are very important to me as well. But yeah, I have to say, when I kind of hit this guy, that's when I really, and with Jessica's help, realized I didn't need any more modalities on top of that.
Sure.
So yeah, because
Sure.
I kind of hit what's the word? Yeah, the lotto, I guess, with it.
Yeah.
There was no going higher.
So you had said that you were having trouble reading, right?
Yes.
Okay. How is that? Has that turned around for you?
Absolutely. That was probably, I wasn't able to read out loud. And again, the words were floating off the page. I was seeing a neuro-ophthalmologist, I think they're called, or a neuro-optometrist, one of the two. And I had special glasses. I had to use a sheet under it. And getting this in the house, I swear it was like within a week, my reading speed was dramatically improved. Dramatically improved. And
I'm like just tripping on how fast this thing works.
it's incredible. But it's also being open to it, right? Like,
of course, right. You have to be open to receive, and you have to be open to the technology and open to your own healing, right? Because not always are people open to healing. But you were you walking into, I can't remember if you said, were you walking into the QRT tour? You had already made the decision, right? That you were there to heal yourself.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, with that little doubt, like, who am I? Who are these people?
Of course. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're I mean, because we have so many stories, and it's really hard to let go of those stories because there are little safety blankets, or at least that's the label that we put on them. Exactly. Or the way that we identify with them.
That's the key. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we can let go of those stories and, just truly believe in ourselves. And I think it just takes practice at that.
Absolutely. And I think that was one of the most beautiful things about Miami was those of us that were watching Jessica's videos before going, she instructed us, leave it all behind.
Mm-hmm.
You are coming to an archetype, and you are not to talk about who you are. You are not to talk about your home, anything like that. You are just here. And that gave me permission to like step much further into my healing than I think I even had at that point, which was already fairly miraculous. So, yeah.
So you didn't come in with a story that you had a traumatic brain injury then, or were you talking about that with others? You probably did Lena and her crew just a bit, I would imagine.
I tried not to, but that first dinner, Phoenix sits down next to me.
Oh, well, there you go.
I know. And that was like, someone said, this is Phoenix, blah, 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 brain injury. And I was like, me. Because we do go into that.
My own kind.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, but I tried not to talk about any of it for that reason. But yeah, I'll be honest, it definitely snuck in.
I actually didn't know until I think you did maybe a post on your business page or your group or something. I actually did not know that you had a traumatic brain injury. I mean, I just think of you as a cute fly ash unicorn. So that's always the visual I get when I think about you.
I love it. One day I will, dress as a unicorn every day. One day.
Right. Exactly.
So,
for those of you who don't know, we have these fun parties at Quantum Revolution Tour, and Kristine dressed as this sparkly, beautiful unicorn whose butt looked awesome in that getup. And she had these you had these rhinestones, didn't you, adorning your face? And oh my gosh. Yeah. Good costume.
Thank you.
Yeah. I love dressing up is one of my favorite things to do. And so, yeah, it's so fun. It's so empowering. Like you can just like, what character do I want to be today?
Exactly.
Right. So let's talk just a little bit about, so what are you doing with this technology then? I mean, you said there were some specials, so I'm assuming it's one of your offerings now because you're a life coach. And so it's one of your offerings in your life coach arena, right?
Absolutely. And it's probably my go-to that I use in like 90% of the sessions I do. So yeah, I kind of combine everything. I like to think I'm definitely not a master of frequencies, but I think I have a better understanding of them than most people. So taking structured water and taking nutrition and taking colors and lights and sound, I think I already, excuse me. There we go. And essential oils, literally taking every sense possible and sense.
Yeah, sense.
Still healing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I want to like bombard clients and remind them of how powerful everything is around them. Every word that you hear, everything you put in your body is a choice. And yeah, so this is the best way to do it because we all use our voices and it's tangible. You are holding it. And I do believe most people pick up on the energy almost immediately. And then to have the sound going too is a great way to kind of get them into a meditative state, especially with the voice program.
Yeah. That's amazing. So I know that you posted on your little bio, because I ask everybody who comes on to send me a bio so that I have a little bit, to talk about, and then also, share who our guests are going to be on Stay Wild Child. And so you talked about remote energy healing. Can you share just a little bit about kind of how that works? And also, because you are so familiar with energy, how you are able to do it from a distance versus having the person right in front of you.
Definitely. So that really goes more into the realm of the quantum healing and spring forest Qigong. In Qigong, it's a lot like, and I never say this right, so all the Reiki and Reiki practitioners out there, please forgive me. It's a lot like Reiki. Not having someone immediately in your field for whatever reason makes it a more powerful healing. So as I was going through the certification process for Qigong, you're doing these distance healings and you're practicing on people. So I asked for permission to tap into someone's field. And then typically everyone's different. So they'll teach you when you're going through, you're kind of using the hand and you're asking where are the blockages in the body. And you're not identifying it. I'm not diagnosing, oh, there's something wrong with your lungs. There's an energetic blockage in the lung area. There's an energetic blockage around the heart area. And I'm finding those, and then I'm able to, with the help, usually with Archangel Michael, to go in and work on removing those blockages at a distance. And some people can feel it, especially those in the Qigong community. Yeah, so I'll do that. But then I can also use this guy behind me because the beauty of it is the voice program is so powerful. I can take a voice sample, usually through Facebook Messenger, run it through all these different algorithms and send it out as an MP3 for people to listen to. And then they can listen to it as much as possible, twice a day. And then you're getting that chakra alignment. Obviously, nothing's better than holding the sky and being in it. But the company is growing and these are popping up. People are buying them all over the planet. And they're like quartz crystals. They're going to kind of magnify and play off each other. So you may already be in the field and not even know it, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I think in Hot Springs alone, there's like 20 different owners within that area. So it's sort of like a little hot spot.
Yeah, right?
I'm in Tacoma, Lisa's in Maple Valley. So we're in a mini hotspot over here as well. So yeah, when I have clients in this area, even if they can't make it in due to their schedule, I'm sending them this MP3, and technically they're already picking up from the field in addition to playing with the mind and using these frequencies and sounds that way. Did that answer it, or did I kind of go off on a tangent?
So I do want you to expand on Qigong. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Expand on Qigong, because I actually, when we had our little conversation to prep for this, I'm like, I think I know what it is, but why don't you go ahead and tell me? So I'll let you share with everyone.
Absolutely. So Qigong is an ancient form of working with the life force in the body. Qi translates, and this is all rough translation into English, into life force, and Gong is to cultivate. So really what we're doing when we start out with Qigong is simple movements and reminding our body that we're in touch with it. So we're actually using breath in the proper way, especially when it comes to women in this country. We've forgotten how to breathe. We're like sucking in and the shoulders are going up with anxiety and we have these shallow breaths. But if you're sitting there at home, like right now, like relax the shoulder, relax the jaw, relax the forehead. And when you're breathing in, let your belly expand, which is something we don't even give ourselves permission to do.
Right.
That's proper breathing. So you're doing these super gentle movements that are actually working with the meridians and the energy fields within the body. So just by what I'm doing right now, I think it's called, it's not coming to me, but just this movement alone, I'm like working with, I believe it's the liver, meridian, the lungs, pretty much all the major organs in the body. And I can feel the energy building in my hands. And most people, when I have practice groups, usually the first week or the second week, people are like, I feel it. That's the most rewarding thing, is you're getting back in touch with the energetic field of the body, which is incredibly, incredibly healing. The gentleman I studied under is, I think he's Grandmaster Chun Yi Lin. He has healed cancer with this, just to give you an idea of how powerful it is. I don't know if I can say that for the FDA, but I'm not saying I did it.
Right, right, exactly.
You know, yeah. So again, not diagnosing anything, but we've seen cancer go into remission. We've seen, I mean, amazing things, Parkinson's, TBI. Yeah, it's amazing. And the moves are so simple. So what he's done is taken this ancient wisdom and actually moved it into this century. So now that we're sitting at desk jobs, we're sitting in traffic, there's different blockages that actually happen. We're not processing anger properly. How can we help the liver? That kind of stuff. And so something as simple as putting your hands together like this and pushing and having that friction between the fingerprints. Mm-hmm. And then doing a slight bow forward as you inhale. And then exhale and move back. Is a beautiful way to bring gratitude into the body. And where gratitude goes is into the kidneys. And an imbalanced kidney oftentimes is holding on to fear that we don't even realize we have. So it can be on a subconscious level. But if we don't figure out a way to process it or balance it, it can affect us. And it can go into disease. It can go into panic attacks. All of these different things will show up. So yeah, it's super powerful movements. And then there's all these meditations that go into it. And it's also never ending, which is beautiful. Yeah, the education in it is extensive. And then there's also Qisage, which I've done. And that's actually taking the different parts of the body. You probably know it like EFT, right?
Right.
But there's different parts on the body that we tap and we play into and massage. And it's moving that energy, moving that blockage, and people feel that release. They'll feel way more energetic and way more alert and relaxed. So it's really powerful, super simple and beautiful. So I teach classes in that. I do remote teachings as well and private lessons.
So it's almost what it sounds like to me, which I haven't practiced. I've seen, a lot of people like in the park practicing because, you can see them push energy and pull it in and all that type of thing. Exactly. And I've seen it before a handful of times, but it's almost as if you are bringing the power back to yourself and you are your own Reiki practitioner. Would that be right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
You're your own Reiki practitioner. You're your own miracle. You're taking control of the energy field around you. And obviously consistency, the more you practice, the more you're building up that chi, that energetic life force in the body.
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely felt that when we just did that little simple move. It's
That's amazing.
yeah, you feel the power in that. And that's just, I know that that's the journey that, both you and I are on, is this awareness journey and this living in intention. And what a difference it can truly make in your life when you start to recognize those things. We get so stuck in, we can get so trapped in our heads and not making the decisions for that growth and that forward movement. But when we bring it back to that awareness and intention, that's why those simple moves, I mean, it really is, anybody can do it, right?
Anyone. And that's what got me into it versus yoga was this. I can teach someone in a hospital bed. You can do these moves laying down. Visualization is by far one of the top 3 or 4 most important things. So yeah, you can have someone that's paralyzed practicing. And Master Jackie Graham will actually talk about someone who, when they first started, they could only move one hand. And within a few months, the other hand got the mobility back and was moving through it. And I know, right? Yeah. Goosebumps every time. And I've just, going into this community and going to the gatherings in Minnesota, there's just been so many amazing stories of people's healing journeys and the power of it. So yeah, it's accessible to
totally see that.
everyone.
Our yoga, and I'm a yoga instructor, but our yoga here locally has turned into so much fitness, which is fine. It's fine. I like it, but I was loving the like the tradition of it, and the mindfulness of it, and the being on your mat and that type of thing. And so often, it just seems like some of the studios in the area have turned more towards that. You're going to get a great workout.
Right.
Yeah. And so I like that. I think I'm actually going to try to take a couple of classes around here.
Definitely should. And I'm planning on starting a little Zoom group of anyone that's interested.
Fabulous.
I thought about it last night and I was like, I really got to get on that. So yeah, if you're interested, anyone's interested, I would be honored to share this gift with you, because it truly is incredible. And yeah, just to have the weekly support, and like I think we kind of already talked about, to be doing it in a group, even if it's around the world, that distance energy is super powerful. So the more people we can get practicing at the same time, it'd be pretty cool.
It really would. And you know what it is? It's intentional energy as a collective. And so that's when we really start to impact, is when we have that intentional collective energy. I didn't think I was going to say that right.
Perfect.
Yeah. So good. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about, all right. So I know that you're into life coaching and you have this beautiful miracle and you're doing Qigong. So do you have anything else like coming up, or is there anything that you want to talk about, like as far as like your offerings are concerned?
Oh my gosh, there is, and I'm blanking. I totally meant to like actually have it printed next to me.
Sure. That's all right.
So for anyone that is local in Washington, South Sound area, I am teaching a 5-week series at 3 Trees Yoga, intro to Qigong. I'm also doing a special light language heart activation and connection event at Silly Fitness in mid-March. Oh my gosh, why do I not know these?
That's good. Great.
With
Priscilla.
Priscilla.
Is perfect.
Right. And then I am also going to be teaching Qigong along with a lot of other things that are going to be happening at A Force of Nature, which is Cora Spalding's company. She's doing a camping retreat that's taking place. Oh, I'm so geographically challenged. In North Carolina or South Carolina. And that's actually
one of the two. It's in the Blue Ridge.
Comment.
I know, right?
She's like, you're out. You're not teaching anymore.
It's in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yes. Yeah. And that's going to be a phenomenal event. So any woman, anywhere, there's going to be Reiki healing. Liz is also a shaman. Yes. So there's going to be a special healing event that goes. And what we're going to be doing is kind of burying the parts of us that we're ready to let go and release, and all coming out of the mountains as new empowered women. And I'm really honored to be part of that as well.
Oh, that's going to be fantastic. Well, so good. So what we'll do is after we finish, we will put your links down below so people know how to get in touch with you. And then is yours a page or a group that you run?
Excellent question that I don't know the answer to, because when I set it up, I did it so wrong. Yay
Sure.
for like putting my foot out there and trying, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know what it is. It's Earth's Kiss Alchemy, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, so I'll type that below. I think if I just @sign it, it'll pull up and
Beautiful.
they can like it or join. Like
Absolutely.
it or join.
Absolutely. And yeah, if anyone wants a voice analysis, wants to find out more information and wants to find out what the Om Pocket's good for, 5G protection, yeah, reach out for sure. I'll be happy to, share a lot more information. I could talk about it for hours. It's ridiculous. So
This is
try and zip up now.
I think it's absolutely been perfect. And I know that, there's a lot of people out there that can, I mean, I think honestly, everybody could benefit from a device like this. And so, I'm definitely going to be sending this YouTube to someone I love for them to pay attention, listen to, if they'll listen, because they are somebody I love. So you never know if they'll hear it, but it wasn't me talking. It was you. So,
right.
Yeah. Hey, we may have to have your sister-in-law on the show too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sarah Freelund. She's phenomenal. Truly.
Cool. Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Kristine. I know that you put a little bit of ego down to jump on this show today, and I so appreciate it. When I heard you, I think you went live, or maybe you did a recording. I don't even remember, but I was like, oh my gosh, who knew? I got to talk to her. She's going to inspire someone. And then, you were like, you decided to listen to your heart, and you said, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's been absolutely wonderful, and I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So thanks for joining us. I'll have this up on YouTube very soon, and stay wild, child.
Okay.